My name is Darlene Friedman, and I am a first-time author of a children's book called Star of the Week, A Story of Love, Adoption, and Brownies with Sprinkles. I wrote the book and my husband illustrated it. He's a children's book illustrator. His name is Roger Roth. My day job is I serve with an organization called Soroptimist International of the Americas. I've been with the organization over 20 years. It's a really great organization with a great mission. We work to improve the lives of women and girls locally and throughout the world, and we kind of work through a three-pronged platform: economic empowerment, the elimination of violence, and gender equality. I've always been concerned about women's rights and girls' rights, and that meshed very well when I took the job here with Soroptimist, because those are the kind of issues that we work on. And within the context of my job, I've learned a lot about the issues and challenges facing girls throughout the world. And one of the places where they face them the most is in China, because girl babies are discriminated against. They have a one-child policy there, and most people, although it is changing a lot, most people still just prefer boys to girls. So there are a lot of girls that are abandoned or given up for adoption. They have a very high abortion rate of female fetuses. So when Roger and I decided that we wanted to have a family, we really wanted to raise a child who was already here. And because we were both concerned about the girls in China, and also I had been in China once before. I went on a tour there after a convention in Japan that I was attending through my work. So all those things kind of came together and led us to make the decision to adopt a girl baby from China, and that's what we did. Our lives have been changed immeasurably just by virtue of the fact that we're parents to an amazing child. Our daughter is, well, we think she's very special. I know all parents think their child is special, but she's just a really bright, sweet, good, smart, talented, kind person. And she's just a joy to raise every day. And so our lives have been changed so much just because we're parents, but our lives have changed in a lot of other ways too. I mean, we've become part of this whole adoptive community. We've made incredible friends through that community. We have been very connected into Chinese cultural things. And being an adoptive parent really makes you look at parenthood in a whole different way, and what it means to be a parent and what it means to be related to somebody. We got the idea for our book because, well, first of all, as parents, we've read a lot of children's books. When our daughter was younger, we read a lot of those books to her, and she loved all the books that dealt with the adoption, and not just Chinese adoption, but adoption in general, because it really helped her kind of feel more quote-unquote normal, to normalize the experience for her. But one thing that we noticed was that there really weren't any books that dealt with the whole adoption subject within the context of school. And obviously once kids are school age, they spend the majority of their time in school, and that's when the problems really start. That's when they really realize that they are different, and if they don't realize it themselves, their schoolmates are quick to point it out to them. So we kind of got the idea because we've gone through many Star of the Week type activities with our daughter. It always brought up issues, and we thought, well, it would be a great way to broach the subject within a school setting and reach out and help other kids who might feel different for any number of reasons. Maybe their parents are divorced, or they wear glasses, or they're overweight. I mean, there's a long list of things that kids can make fun of other kids about. So our main goal was to, number one, address the adoption subject, but number two, also just as a way to start a dialogue with any kids in a school context who might be feeling a little out of place. We hope the book really creates some understanding about kids who were adopted, and about how kids can be made to feel marginalized and different from the group, and we really hope that it's just used as a teaching tool to open up a greater conversation about diversity and tolerance and multiculturalism, because even though I think a lot of people probably think we talk about this kind of stuff to death, the fact is that not a lot has really changed. I mean, our daughter is in middle school right now, and she can tell you that she hears anti-Chinese comments pretty much on a regular basis. It's been very difficult for her. And so the hope is that, starting early and starting young and really working with kids to let them understand differences among people is just going to be helpful to kids as they grow, and hopefully it's a teaching moment. Our daughter's very proud of the book, but she also is a little conflicted about it. She doesn't want any of her schoolmates to know. She, as I mentioned before, she's in middle school now, and she's very, very sensitive to anything that makes her stand out. The whole goal of middle school is to blend in as much as possible so you don't get picked on. So she really doesn't want anybody at school to know about the book. But, she's certainly shared it with all of her friends and relatives, and so she's proud of it on the one hand, but on the other hand, she wants to kind of keep a low profile. But we'll see how that goes, because she and I recently started a blog. It's called Eden's Garden. Here it is right here. And we hope that tweens and teens, it's a blog for moms and their daughters, and we are definitely talking a lot about the whole adoption thing, but we're also opening it up to just other kind of things that tweens and teen girls face. And my daughter Eden is a very communicative young woman, and she really likes to express herself, so this is kind of a venue for her to do that. The book has received some really excellent reviews, which has just been wonderful to see. We got a full-page review in Adoptive Families magazine, which is a magazine that I've been reading since we adopted Eden, and it was written by the review was written by another adoptive mom, and she loved the book for all the reasons that we were hoping people would love it, so that was very gratifying. There are just a lot of resources out there for people in the adoption community. And another good one is tapestrybooks.com. They are a website dedicated to all things adoption. And I had a nice article printed in on that website about the book and about why we wrote the book. And just in general, it's gotten some great reviews. I've also, from the usual places like Publishers Weekly and Booklist. And I've also received several letters from adoptive parents who have purchased the book and just loved it and said that they've been waiting for a book like this, and that's actually been the most gratifying, even better than all the reviews. So so far we seem to be making a little impact, and that makes us very happy.